science, meditation is the thing that makes you a human being. You are an animal, but you meditate. I'll give you a small, simple formula for meditation, which will change your life. You sit quietly in a room or any place, whether it is a bus or a bus stand or airplane, airport, anywhere. All the noise will be there, don't worry. But sit quietly, comfortably, close your eyes. And a lot of things will be coming in the mind. Just forget about them. Don't do anything to stop them. Because thoughts are like that river. They flow down. And if you block them, you will be like damming the river and water will collect. Don't do that. Allow them to go. And then you simply sit quietly. Don't have to have any mantra. Don't have to watch anything. Don't have to watch a breath. Don't have to keep God. Nothing. Sit there. Sit there. And then quietly sit there. And then afterwards, the thoughts start getting less and less and less and less. You will get within 10 to 20 minutes, minimum 20 minutes, you get into a stage where you feel so happy. You become Peter in 20 minutes time. That is the genuine meditation that will change. And that is what changed Bhowmik on that night when all the guests, he had about 500 guests that day, starting from President Clinton down to all the celebrities in Hollywood. When they left him, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and he was alone in the house, sitting by the side of a swimming pool, which had the size of an Olympic swimming pool. Bhowmik went into meditation. And at the end of 20 minutes, he said, "You fool Bhowmik, what are you? Have you forgotten yourself?" And that is where he writes that book for you, Code Named God. So friends, ultimately, I'll come back to where I started, and that is, everything in the universe is energy, God included in it. And scientists should stop looking objectively at things without forgetting his own subjective feelings. What the scientists do is, the subjective feeling alters their results at the end of the day. You may not believe it because we all believe in the results that were given now. John Ioannidis is a great medical scientist who was working in Stanford as a professor. He took 6 prestigious medical journals, medical science journals, top journals in the world. And 20 years he analyzed what they had published before 20 years. And he found 99% of what is published is not worth the paper on which it is written, because it is already changed. That is science. I'll give you an example in physics, which is the greatest science. 1907, J.J. Thomson, who was the president of the Cavendish Institute in Cambridge University, got the Nobel Prize for saying that electrons are particles. 30 years later, his own son, J.G. Thomson, in 1937, says they are waves, and he also gets the Nobel Prize. Father says they are particles, son says they are waves. 1932, Schrödinger says they are neither waves nor particles. He calls them wavicles. He gets the Nobel Prize. 1925, Werner Heisenberg says there is nothing, you can't study this, and everything is uncertain. He gets the Nobel Prize. What do you call this? Science? That is why I started by saying science is something that changes. Religion is something that doesn't change. But today, in 2012, we have come to a level where science is meeting religion, but not ritualistic religion, but the philosophy of religion or theology of religion, which I call as spirituality. What is spirituality? What Peter is doing is spirituality. Spirituality is simply caring and sharing. What is caring? Caring for others. What is sharing? Sharing with others. This is the essence of every religion. You go to Ishoparishad, Tena Tyaktena Bunjitaha. Rejoice in giving. If I can give you 1 rupee, I am very happy. If you give me 1 lakh of rupees, then I think, why not 10 lakhs? Why not 20 lakhs? Why not 1 crore? I am unhappy. But if I can give you 1 rupee, you will be so happy. I tell you, you are so happy. And that is called giving. And in giving, we get, Jesus said. Now the second thing, you go to Jesus, he says, in giving you get. And he says, it's not for thee alone, pass it on, pass it on. And that's called sharing. You come to Islam, Zukat. And you say, Allahu Akbar. Everything is, other than us, only God is different, we are all one. What a beautiful thought. One day thought, we'll teach this boy a lesson. So they went to the market and bought one of the most complicated jigsaw puzzles, having about 10,000 pieces, small pieces, which we put together becomes a world. So they came home and called the boy and said, look, today we will give you a question and you find the answer. Make this into a world. The boy disappeared with the box, 10,000 small pieces. And the parents said, for the next 1 week, we are happy. This boy won't bother us. Lo and behold, after 1 hour, the boy comes running back. Mummy, Daddy, I put the world. And they went to his room with amazement and they find the whole world is put together so beautifully. Then said, how did you do it? He said, very simple, Mama. Look at the other side. There is a man. I put the man right. The world became right.